What is good, YouTube? Serge Ibaka. I know I'm late. Usually I be right on time with the trades, but I was busy today. Serge Ibaka traded to the Toronto Raptors. Terrence Ross is going to Orlando, I believe, and it's a good trade. This is the trade that they needed, and it don't really benefit Orlando. I mean Orlando that much because Terrence Ross, they don't really need him. He gonna be most likely a backup player, just like he was in Toronto. And they already got Evan Fournier. They could play him at the three if they need some floor spacing at the three to add another shooter. He got the length and the athleticism and the height to play the three, and he is a sharp shooter. He can get hot. He can spark the bench, so he can be a good six man and bring in some points. He is a little streaky and inconsistent, like J.R. Smith. But if you can put him on a roll, because Frank Vogel is a great coach, I got so much respect for Frank Vogel. If you can put him in a role and let him thrive in that role, kind of like what happened to J.R. Smith going to Cleveland, you can get a lot out of Terrence Ross. He's a good player. And on top of that, they get a first round pick. So 2017 first round pick, they get a first round pick coming fast. And they get Terrence Ross, who ain't that bad. Serge Ibaka, this is what I tell the Toronto fans. I'm a fan of Serge Ibaka. He can stretch the floor to the three-point line. He's a great mid-range shooter. Even though he don't shoot him as much as he used to. He's a great finisher, a decent finisher. I ain't going to say great, but a decent finisher around the rim. He can dunk it. He can lay it up. He's quick, he's fast, he's athletic, he can cover a lot of space, he can contest a lot of shots, he's a rim protector in general. If you get beat off the dribble, he can cover for you. He's not the defender he was 4 years ago, but he's still a good enough defender, and they don't need him to do much, but probably anchor that defense. Even though they let Bismack Biyombo go, he's a way better offensive player, and on top of that, the dude is a way better defender, and he doesn't foul as much as people would think. He's just that good of a defender. So if he can focus more like he did on OKC in 2011, 2012, 2013, if he can just focus on being a rim protector and just a spot-up shooter from time to time, he's going to thrive in this role because they don't really need him to do more than that. But he is just a great role player. They're not giving up that much for Serge Ibaka, so it ain't like they're giving up like what the Magic had to do to give up Victor Oladipo picks and everything to get Serge Ibaka. They actually got robbed because now they gave Serge Ibaka away basically for nothing. They rented Serge Ibaka to halfway of the season and then realized, oh, this is not the guy that we want. We don't want to pay him, and that's what I'm about to get right now. Toronto, they gave up Terrence Ross in the first round pick, and now they have to pay Serge Ibaka because his contract is almost up if they want him. If not, you just gave up a first round pick in Terrence Ross basically for nothing if you can't retain Serge Ibaka by re-signing him. Since he's been traded, you can give him that 5 years, that 5-year deal, and give him the maximum money that he can get. Or you can just give him a decent contract depending on how he play for Toronto. But like I said, that's the biggest key to Toronto, that you gave up a first round pick in Terrence Ross, and you might not want to keep Ibaka, even though they really need a stretch forward, force Kyle Lowry to get to the paint, for DeMar DeRozan to stay getting those pick and rolls, pick and pop, and those jumpers to go. And like I said, Serge Ibaka can stretch out the floor so he can roll to the three-point line, to the dunk, layup, or even just knock down the mid-range. So that Kyle Lowry, Serge Ibaka pick and roll is going to be disgusting. That DeMar DeRozan and Serge Ibaka pick and roll going to be even better because they're so lethal with their jump shots and they can get anywhere they want on the floor. And DeMar DeRozan don't pick up his dribble that much, so he can probe the defense as much as he need to find a shot for his teammate or to find a good shot for himself like he been doing. But now he has Jonas, and now he has Ibaka. And on top of that, Jonas is going to be relied more just to be a rebounder and a putbacker and a finisher around the rim and knock down some mid-range jumper from time to time, because now they have another pick and roll player and another roll man. But like I said, Terrence Ross, the thing about this trade is they don't really need Terrence Ross. Even if they want to keep Terrence Ross, it's not going to be that expensive because he hasn't really showed that he can be a superstar, a star, or anything. He just showed that he's going to be a knockdown shooter, and he's athletic too. So that gives him higher, I should say, potential of what he can do, kind of like what J.R. Smith do. I compare him a lot to J.R. Smith, a guy that has spotty shot selection every once in a while, but when he's a good knockdown spot up shooter, and he's athletic, so you never know what you can get out of him, and he's still young. So I like this trade. Serge Ibaka still in his 20s. He can grow with DeMar. He's around the same age as Kyle Lowry, so this should be. Can it push him over the edge to be a contender? They've been on a losing streak. They're having a losing 2 months. Can this give them that extra push to be up there with Cleveland to get their spot back from the Boston Celtics? And we're going to have to see. One of the things that you have to do to beat Kyrie Irving and LeBron, you have to have an athletic rim protector that can contest shots in the paint. And on top of that, block shots without fouling to keep Kyrie out the paint, to keep LeBron out the paint, to keep Tristan Thompson. You're going to need 2 rebounders, Serge, and now Jonas, and they still have Jakob Poeltl. So, with that being said, they got some big bodies to throw at LeBron and Kyrie because this trade is basically to see if they got enough to beat Cleveland. And right now, it might be enough, but we won't know because they went 6 games with them last year. They upgraded their biggest hole without giving up DeMar, Kyle Lowry, DeMarre Carroll, or even Jonas Valanciunas. They gave up basically a role player for a better fit for them. And that could be a steal in the long run. But with that being said, like I said, they're going to have to pay Serge. DeMarre got paid. Kyle Lowry contract coming up. Then you got DeMar DeRozan. He just got paid almost $30 million in the future. They got to find out how to pay Serge Ibaka. And that's going to be the biggest key. Can they keep Serge Ibaka, or is they going to rent him just like Orlando Magic did? Comment, like, subscribe, and share. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe if you like the content. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming back at you. Sorry for that break, but I'm here for y'all.